Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a COVID-19 coronavirus update Saturday, February 22nd at 8:22 p.m. Mountain Time 2020. The stats are in. 78,766 confirmed, 2,461 deaths, 23,092 total recovered. And these numbers are fiction. Update, CDC on coronavirus health emergency. This is just coming in moments ago. We're going to share it with you. The CDC stresses that the coronavirus is not spreading rapidly in the U.S., but it could happen. And as of today, 35 Americans in our country have tested positive for COVID-19. Now, out of those numbers, 18 of those are passengers on cruise ships in Japan. 3 were infected in Wuhan and then brought to the U.S. against our president's wishes. 12 tested positive after arriving from China, and 2 were infected after having close contact with someone who traveled from Wuhan. There will be no more infected people repatriated, thankfully. According to the Health Administration, coronavirus may be the disease X that the WHO has warned about. Now, if you didn't know, the World Health Organization cautioned years ago that a mysterious disease, X, could spark an international contagion. The new coronavirus, with its ability to quickly morph from mild to deadly, is emerging as a contender. From recent reports about the stealthy ways the so-called COVID-19 virus spreads and maims, a picture is emerging of an enigmatic pathogen whose effects are mainly mild, but which occasionally and unpredictably turns deadly in the second week. In less than 3 months, out of the 77,000 plus people infected, mostly in China, there are over 2,200 dead. And there are still dozens of questions that we have unanswered. Why the coronavirus outbreak is delivering a fresh dose of recession fear to the stock markets? Well, because it's not over, Johnny. And over 30% of the imports in many countries like the U.S. come from China. And those have stopped coming. So in a month or so, there will be no more products that people buy in certain categories. And that is shaking the markets. So be careful where your money is. And then we'll talk about that later. Coronavirus 2019 definitely wasn't made in a lab. You might have seen this, but this is not the truth. This is propaganda. And we're going to get to the truth tonight. Coronavirus live update. South Korean cases spike and fear builds. A major city is locked down, and 28 countries outside of China have reported 1,500 cases. As it blossoms outside of China, Iran reports a 6th death with less than 30 cases. So someone's lying there. And Israel is barring travelers from South Korea. The count, 28 countries and a spike in South Korea have the COVID-19. South Korea's 4th largest city is now on lockdown. President Trump was furious over the repatriations of infected Americans, and they will cease. The WHO heads to Wuhan and says it fears for Africa. Israel bars South Korean tourists. Russian disinformation blames U.S. for the coronavirus. It's getting sick, folks. Now, this breaking news coming from Taiwan, the Wuhan virus, COVID-19, origin could be natural or synthetic. These are the facts. The facts are that the information is coming out daily, moment to moment. And in an open letter Wednesday, public health scientists from 9 countries also denounced the notion of a lab virus. We showed you that headline. Let's go back to it, just so you know. There it is. Definitely not made. But let's get to the facts of the Wuhan virus, shall we? And you can see the stats above. And we will wade into the controversy, as well as Fang. Now, we're going to send our props out to Fang because he is a hero in this movement. And Fang argued that the public health officials should remain open to all possibilities that are supported by evidence. Our channel is a science channel based on evidence. It's fact-based. He also said scholars find it interesting that the COVID-19 outbreak started close to China's Wuhan Virology Institute, a government research laboratory that has the highest biosafety level, BSL-4, which means it most likely houses fatal pathogens such as the severe acute respiratory syndrome, which we know as SARS, and Ebola viruses. Now, given China's reputation for lax safety standards and lab culture, there are valid grounds for suspicion regarding the COVID-19, Fang said. Citing recent research by French scientists on the genetic sequencing of the COVID-19, Fang said that it has a 96% resemblance to the RATG13 bat virus, samples of which were reportedly stored at the Wuhan Virology Institute. Now, this similarity has raised discussions as well as eyebrows in academic circles, with some researchers saying bats may have the natural source of the COVID-19, given the fact that they are among the many species of wildlife sold at the Chinese or China's wet markets in the area of Wuhan. However, a 99% similarity between viruses is a more accurate standard for determining origins. So at 96%, we're a little below the cusp. Nonetheless, in terms of the virus's structure, and many have looked at this, many geneticists, the COVID-19 shows mutations of a complexity that are highly unlikely to be natural. Let me repeat that. The COVID-19 shows mutations of a complexity that are highly unlikely to be natural, although it is possible, Fang said. Fang said public health authorities are working hard to determine the origin of the virus because that will tell them whether it can be eradicated or merely contained. For example, common influenza viruses occur naturally and have an ecological niche. So the best that can be done is to manage them and reduce their impact. But most viruses come and go. They rise and fall. So there will be a season for this virus if it is natural. If it is artificial, it will be contained and eliminated. But when will that occur? It's anyone's guess. Those are the facts. The virus is spreading outside of China as we speak. The cases are blossoming. And what do I mean by blossoming? In some areas, they're going way down. Let's look at the numbers here in Japan, where according to the official data sets, the numbers have gone from hundreds to only 122. They've removed the passengers and they've hidden them from that cruise ship. Where they haven't hidden them is in Iran, where there is only 28 confirmed cases and now the 6th death has been announced. Either the virus is mutated in Iran, and this is just the beginning of the story, or there are thousands of cases in Iran, and countries other than the U.S. are lying to us. Now, I'm not saying the U.S. isn't lying to us, but there's no evidence that it's spreading in the U.S. currently. The only spread has occurred from stupid officials bringing infected people into our country. If you think the government is going to save you, can you see what the government just did? They brought infected people into our country, the United States, without your permission. These are the sign of the times. Watch the stock market. Watch your 401k. Get prepared. Get some of the N1 oil, thieves oil. Buy some isopropyl alcohol, some preparedness supplies like dry goods and food for several months. And if you need medication from pharmacy, have a backup plan. It's up to you to mitigate what's coming, if it is coming. This pandemic has not been contained. It's now spreading to Italy, where there are 79 confirmed cases. And are the numbers in Iran real? We'll never know. But take a look what happened in South Korea over the last 24 hours. 3 days ago, there were very few cases here. And we are now at 556. We love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people. We are not going to be suggested on the YouTube algorithm. This video has been demonetized before I even uploaded it. Be safe. That's a boo.